Hello friends, how are you today? It's April 1st on the chart, and there's so much going on here that I'm going to do just a short video on each theme. And the first theme is this right here. Really this right here, but it extended a little bit. And that is the theme of a change in the energies, a shift, and a pause, a time for rest. We've got the end of March here, the beginning of April here. We've got Easter coming up in a few days. And on April 11th, the first new moon of the new year, the new natural year. So we are in the last 2 weeks of some very big cycles. There are major cycles of time astrologically that we are currently at the end of. One is a 794-year cycle. There's a 240-year cycle. There's a 40-year cycle, a 20-year cycle. These all end with the natural new year. What I mean is that this is the last full year of the natural year that these cycles are in effect. So starting with April 11th, it's a brand new year under sort of new rules, new constructs of energy and energetic influences in terms of the solar system and how these affect our external environments. Now, I had a comment. Someone had asked me about these cycles, and I replied, and now the comment is gone. It's a bummer. I guess I'm not meant to go into detail about the cycles because I don't have that at my fingertips right now. But what I wanted to say is that this is a good time to rest. To rest ahead of starting the natural new year, to wrap up things that you had been thinking of, working on, to make the moves to wrap those up. Sometimes it takes time. And to let go of that which no longer serves your highest good. And be okay with that, because when we let go of things that take our time, attention, energy, it can be sad to let those go. We have feelings of fondness or longing or sadness or whatever it is that come up. But yet, as the new enters, we now have this space to meet what that is for us, to act on what that is for us, to follow the impulses from within in alignment with our highest guidance that bring us into a new world, a new place for ourselves. And at this beginning of this is literally the beginning of the new age that everyone has talked about. Going back to the 60s, the age of Aquarius, when they were singing about that and putting flowers in people's hair. Stay true to that which guides you. Stay true to the soul, to what's in your soul. Because what's behind the scenes here are influences that are not in alignment with life, that want to come with us, that are not in alignment with the highest good, that want to come with us, and that are trying to figure out how to hitchhike with us. And that's part of the reason that clearing is so important. Because if you want that pure influence, right, that's just from your own soul, from God's messages to you, if you want to proceed just with that, then this is the perfect time to let go of what doesn't serve you, what doesn't support you, what doesn't bring joy to your heart, and to let go of arguments, and to let go of polarization. I was talking with someone about this, and what we talked about was, what's more important? What's more important, having relationships based in love or continuing the argument, whatever that happens to be? So I'm just going to look at this part of the chart because we're going to look at the other parts of the chart in other videos. But here you have you've got some movement here, okay, in the frequencies. What I want to say is this: it's actually really fascinating, and if you want to interpret the frequencies correctly related to this chart, you have to do this. You have to flip it upside down. And the reason why is because these frequency charts, the way that they are presented, the high numbers for the frequency range are at the top of the charts, and the low numbers are at the bottom. Okay? So like if I look at this here, right, it looks like the darkness, or the density, this red, or passion, or whatever, however you want to see this, the shadow or the light side of density. So it looks like it dipped, okay? But you see here, the high numbers are at the top, the low numbers are at the bottom. Well, this chart, the high numbers are at the bottom, the low numbers at the top. So to make them apples to apples, you have to flip it. And what you see is that there was just that the red trended upward, and it kind of made a big rolling up movement and then dropped down pretty quick. And the green at the same time dipped downward in frequency. Now you still can't read the numbers. That was an exercise in folly. The white has stayed flattish. It's been very flattish, and the yellow here had a general downward trend during this period of rest in terms of how the frequencies moved in their ranges. And the amplitudes have been pretty low here, and that coincides with restfulness. And that's what I want to emphasize here. Now, there's multiple things going on at the same time that persist. So just because it's another day doesn't mean that this pause information has changed. It's sort of there's many sets or packets of information here that all relate to this time period. And the one key thing that has shifted is that we've had a shift from this energy here, which was the energy of people in boxes, something being blocked, and that blockage moving out, being particleized, maybe, that it can't meet the divine, like it can't go through the gateway. And maybe that's the entrance to the new year, for example. It can't go through because when it meets the divine, it can't survive. It doesn't have the proper makeup to be able to go to the next stage spiritually. So this is the shift from this information as we go into the new year. And what you see here, and this is very dramatic, but you see how dramatic the shift was, right? From those energies into the pause. And the thing that I did see here, okay, in my clairvoyant vision when I look at, and this turns into images for me, was a woman birthing a baby, okay, and that correlates with the new. A representative of nature supporting a living person. So the ability of ourselves to work with the natural forces, including our own natural force, the soul within the body, but also the forces of the planet, the elemental energies, wind, fire, water, air, and those within our bodies, to get to know these and be in sync with them more deeply. And the other thing that came through for me was strategies that are not supportive of life. What I see here below the woman is also kind of a strange figure. I don't know if it's just a strange creature or alien type figure. It has a very elongated head, and it's looking towards the past, and a very square type of body, very rigid presentation. And it's looking for the past. It's part of the shadow, and it appears to be trying to understand how it can bring that forward with us. It's got some technology here at its heart, how it can survive in these frequencies. So my recommendation is to focus on the self and what supports you.